Hello, and you're back again. Well done for keeping up. And I hope you think it's going to be worthwhile because you can see this little beauty here, which I think is really lovely. And it's a follow-on from the poinsettia that we did yesterday. So I've actually incorporated this one, which is the silver one. And I've used that on a card with some nice background paper, a little bit of embossing folder and some elements that we've had many a time before. So you may well have these things in your stash. The only thing you might not have is the lovely paper pad. So I'm going to go through and make this one in a slightly different colourway, but I'm going to show you the actual paper pad first, or paper, not, it's not a pad, it's a pack. So you will find this is the pack. Now, we have got some, oh goodness me, 36 sheets I think it is, and they're done in a different way. So you have got blue, a sort of purpley colour, red, green and white, and they are all with a silver dot. Okay, so you have got 5, I think it is, 4 or 5 of each of the colours. And then you've got exactly the same colours, but this time done with a gold dot. So you might not be able to see it quite so clearly, the difference from where you are. But believe me, there is a difference. And I just think they're just so lovely. They're ideal for any card, but for Christmas and something classic, I think that they work very, very well. So I used the silver because I had the silver poinsettia. But today my sample is going to be with the gold one. So without further ado, I have chosen to use, let's just pop this to one side, I've chosen to use today the green, which is like a dark hunter's green, I think you'd call it, and it's got the gold bit there. I'm going to do it into a 7x7 card. Just checking. Yep, just thought I hadn't got one then. And I'm also going to be using, this time, some glitter card. Now, this glitter card is from the Cool Tones. So you've got, within that section, you have got quite an array, and I will be using them during the week, of different colours. You've got 2 of each. Let's bring them in to show you. You've got this lovely blue, silver, the green that I'm using today, pink and a brighter pink, or rose gold I suppose you'd call that really. So it's quite a nice array, 2 of each, and that I'm going to use with my bits there today. And I'm also going to be using my vintage gold card there, which is from the Craft Artist Vintage Gold pack of Satin and Mirror card, and this one is the actual Satin. And I've got a few other bits that I'll be using as I go along, but let me sort of cut out some card and show you how we're going to do this. So I've already taken, as I said, excuse me, the 7x7 card, and I have measured my pack, which is just like 15.2 centimetres. So I've just gone about ½ centimetre more all the way round, and I'm going to stick that straight down because that is my piece already done for the front there. So I haven't cut any of my paper pad off. I've used every single bit of it, and I will end up using the whole piece of my glitter card as well. So it kind of makes it a viable piece, if you see what I mean. Viable's not quite the word, but you know what I mean. And because I'm not doing this live, I haven't got people telling me what I mean, have I? So you'll just have to bear with me on that. So I'm just popping that into the centre there. So we've got a nice border all the way around. And already that is looking pretty splendiferous, I reckon, don't you? So that is our card already. So I'm going to pop that to one side for the moment. And I'm just going to bring in some other bits of card. So I've got my other piece here of my Cool Tones glitter card, and I've also got one of the pieces of the white with the gold spots on it, the gold foiled spots on it, and I'm just going to cut a couple of little extra bits. So to start off with, I'm going to cut a piece that is, let's say, 2.5 inches, so 6.5 centimetres wide. Okay, and this piece is going to go along my middle bit, so that needs to be the same measurement, which was 15.8 sort of thing. And then I'm going to cut a piece from here, which is just going to be slightly smaller, so 6 centimetres. And then just the same. Oh, we don't need to cut any measurement because it's the same here. So that piece is going to go onto there like that. Okay, and that then will be my middle piece, my middle section here in a minute. But I'm not going to pop that on just yet. So, and then from my almost final piece here, I'm going to cut a piece that is, let's say the same, 6.5. And this time we're going to cut it at the same as well, I think. Yeah, we'll give that a go. So it's the same width across, sort of 15.8. And I'm going to then cut another piece of my satin card, my satin gold card. So that was a bit smaller at 6 centimetres. And then again, should be about right. That. Just trim that little bit off. So we've got those little bits there. Okay, now let's take these pieces out of the way. I've also cut out a sentiment. I've already done that. I haven't actually taken it out there, but this is one of the Merry Christmas sentiments. So you could use your Happy Christmas or your Merry Christmas, slightly different font. And I've cut that out from the green card from the Cool Tones as well. It's all ready to go, but I just thought I'd show you how well it cuts out and easily. Nothing special on that one, but that's all ready to go. Now, before I do anything further, I want to make these into some little banner tails, some fish tails. So I'm going to use one of my punches. So this punch is a woodware punch, and it's got measurements of doing a 1.5 inch flag, 2.5 and 2, but I found that you can actually do anything in between 2.5 and little tiddly, because it's got the measurements at the bottom here. I'll show you that. And as long as you make sure it's even across there, you can't go wrong really. So I'm going to take my green piece first, and I'm going to put that in right to the end. It won't go anywhere else. Just make sure that's even. Press down, and I come out with my little tags here. Now that was, I must admit, just a fraction too big for that cutting area. So let's just trim that down. Just a little bit here. So there we are, our cutting edge there. Now I need to just make sure, let's take a little bit extra of this off then, just a little bit extra, so that we know that that's going to fit in. And so we're going to do exactly the same with this one. I'm going to pop that in, take it to the end, and I'm just making sure that I've got even spacing at the bottom here. And then just take that through, and then when that fits on there, you've got that perfect little fish tail there, which I think works really quite nicely. But before I'm going to stick those together, because I've got lots of dots on the background, I'm going to take my snow embossing folder from Nellie Snellen. Now I'm going to be using this, I've sort of brought this one through earlier really. I am going to be using this in another actual card, but I thought I'd use it in this one as well. So as with all Nellie Snellens, the actual front of your piece of embossing folder is your front of your pattern, if you see what I mean. So where you've got the markings on there, that's the front of your pattern. So I'm going to pop my flag, tag, whichever we call it, into there, and I'm going to run that through my folder, my die cutting machine, just to make some patterns on there. so that it all runs together and that it all sort of looks quite nice together. Okay. Oh, it takes forever when you want it to, doesn't it? So then when I open that up, we've got that lovely pattern that's sort of the dots and everything. I think it's a really nice pattern, that one. So that then can go onto there and be my banner. Okay. Also, before I put everything away, I'm going to cut a couple of Leafy Flourish. Now I'm hoping to have some of those for you because I am trying to source these for you. So I hope that by the time this video goes out that we'll have been able to get some, because they just are my all-time favourite, as I'm sure you're aware. I use them all the time. I just love them. Just going to trim it down. So Leafy Flourish, just as my background of my poinsettia. Obviously, if you haven't got that, or if you have got that, great. But if you haven't got that, all of the products that we've got here today are available over on the website. Hopefully that one will be as well. But we've also, you've got options. You can use your poinsettia leaves that you might have from something else, or other greenery. The twigs look lovely. Anything would look nice just to sort of embellish this a little bit. But I must admit, I do like my Leafy Flourish. Can't beat a bit of Leafy Flourish, eh? So, just going to take these out. And then they've got lots of release holes. So I am just going to push through. And the good thing about these is they have got like a left and a right. So they are quite handy to be able to use as a flourish. I'm just going to peel them off the back. And just make sure there's quite a fragile little one. I want to just make sure that I get all the bits. I'm just sort of peeling it off really, because I don't want to pull. But in actual fact, as you are peeling it off, it really lends itself then, because it starts to bend a little bit and move. And you can see that it's got lots of lovely markings on it, which I think is great. So we've done that one. And we'll just take this one and then we'll just pop it all together. So a bit of foam is all we need to pop it all together. And I think that will just make a very, well, I think classy card. We like a bit of posh, don't we, eh? So just peel this one off. Take that out of there. So don't forget, all of your items, as I said, are available over on the website, maximumcrafts.com, if you need any to top up your stash. And also any orders made during this 12 Days of Christmas promotion will be put into a draw and will be drawn live on Sunday the 14th of November. I was nearly going to say December then. So let's get my card and let's pop that back together again. Now, we have got our card piece that's going to go there. Okay, so I'm going to attach this piece directly onto my glitter cards first. So that has got a little border all the way around. And I'll do the same, attach this as well to my green piece as well. I really like that embossing folder. I think that looks nice. I like the snow idea, and when I use that on one of the other cards, I think it's the last card that we'll be having, I think it looks good. So I'm going to apply some foam. Now this piece is going to go across more or less the middle of my card, so this piece can have foam all the way across. You'll see what I mean, why I'm making a thing about the fact that it can have it all the way across. So I'm actually going to put 3 pieces on there and just whip those off, pop my wet glue on, and that's our card base there. So check which way you want it to open. I want this one as a top folding, so I'm just going to place that more or less halfway, and I'm sort of measuring up the line, if you see what I mean, the line here with the line here, so that it all falls into the same sort of way. It looks as if it's all nice and meant to be, all straight. Now, I said about I'm going to put foam all the way around here. On this one, which I'm going to put on, I'm not going to put foam all the way around, and the reason being that if I put foam straight down, because this piece has already been layered up with foam, it would be uneven. So I'm only needing to put foam behind this area here and behind these 2 little bottom pieces of the flag down here. So that is exactly what I shall do. I shall put a bit there and there, and then just a little bit onto those flags, just to give them a bit of support down the bottom. Okay, whip those off so that all this middle section doesn't need any foam on it at all, because we've already foamed this bit. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that onto there, lining up my lines at the top and the bottom, and just putting that to one side. So my only pieces of foam at the top and on my 2 flags, and then that piece is in the same level as that one. Okay, so then I'm going to take my Merry Christmas, just going to push that from here. Just ease that out. I think it's a really pretty green, and if you wanted, you've got the spring green and emerald green in the Craft Artist mirror and satin card collection as well, so that looks nice too. But I just thought we'd have a little bit of sparkle, and it's nice to have green as well. I think this looks nice, a nice contrast with the dark green of what I would call the hunter's green, but I'm not quite sure if that's what they call it. So the paper pads are from Card Deco, so they're a little bit different. Now let me just grab a pokey, just to push out that last little bit there and here. Don't need those little bits in there. And I'm going to stick them on first, so that when I put my poinsettia on in a minute, we'll be able to see how that goes all nicely. There you go, just pop that together. So my Christmas is going to go down the bottom here. I'm going to put my Christmas bit on first, because my Merry sits in, the Y sits in there. I think I'm actually going to put them around that way. So yeah, I'm going to be a bit random here. So I'm going to put a bit of glue on there, and I'm just going to stick that down. And I think I'll do this one at an angle. I think it'll look better. Haven't done the other one. I'll show you that one again in a minute. So I'm just putting a bit of glue on the back. And then I'm going to lay that down from edge to edge if I possibly can, and push that into place, and then I can do my Merry. And as I said, with this particular font, the bottom part of the letter Y in the Merry slots into this area here, so it looks quite nice. Whereas if you put the Merry on first, you then sort of run out of room in which to put your other piece there. So there we are. We've got Merry Christmas like that. And I'm going to turn on my hot glue gun, manoeuvring, and I'm just going to put my poinsettia into place here. So I'm going to take my Leafy Flourish, and they are going to go one up that way and one down that way. So I have to admit that most of it is going to be hidden, but nevertheless I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue onto the bottom leaves, and making sure that my top bit of flourish is actually over the top so that we know we're going to be able to see it. And then this one is going to go in sort of an opposite way. Bit of glue on those leaves, just the bottom leaves, so we've got a lot of movement. And then that piece is going to come down on this corner here, so we know that although our flower's going to go in the centre, we're going to be able to see those flourishes either way. So here is a gold version of the lovely poinsettia with the crackled background as the leaf areas. I'm going to pop a bit of glue, hot glue in the centre, and I'm just going to make it so that it doesn't cover my Merry Christmas on the side, and I'm just going to pop that and hold that whilst that just sets. I'm using that one. You could use any glue. I just prefer when I'm putting on big flowers like this to use the hot glue gun, because I do feel that that actually gives it a stronger bond. And oh, excuse me, as you can see, I do like to leave those. I don't like it if they're all flat lying on there. It just doesn't give the same effect. So I do like to leave them so that they are bare, so to speak. So there you go. There is our green version. I'll bring in the other one, which is our red version. And you have got the opportunity to use purple, what did I say? Purple, forgotten. Let's have a look, shall we? Purple, blue, red, green and white, or any combination of, and you've got silver dots and gold dots. Lovely little selection, loads there, and not just for Christmas, not just for Christmas. Ideal for a man's card as well, I think you'll find. So let me clear the way of all the gubbins so that you can have a good old look at them. Decide which one, whoops, that you might like as your most favourite. I don't know. I like both of them. They both look good, I think. So there you go. Anything that you need over on the MaximumCrafts.com website. I will be back again tomorrow with some more ideas for you. And tomorrow we're going to be using the paper pad again. So it's going to be a quick one tomorrow. So it's a couple of little ideas that you might like for maybe your tree or your table as well, using these little paper pads. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. Take care.